Hey YouTube, what happens when you set a minimum price point for your product or service? Today we're going to talk about how that affects your customers' perception of you as well as your bottom line. Let's jump into that right now. Pricing your product is like psychological warfare. If you price it really high, people see you as a luxury brand, and if you price it really low, they think that you're cheap and discounted. So where do you want to be in the mind of your customer? As a business owner, you have an obligation to yourself to set a standard. This is what I mean by that. I would ask you to put your stake in the ground and not back down from that. When I work with businesses who say, you know what, this is our minimum price point, this is the least amount of money we'll work for, what that does is it gets rid of all of the tire kickers that are price shopping and trying to get a discount. So if you come in and say, you know what, we're not willing to work for less than $500 a month, people go, okay. And they step up to that price point and they're willing to play with you in that range and move forward with you. And maybe that's your minimum price point and you might actually be $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, but that's the least amount of money you'll work with. And that gets rid of all of the people that are looking for a $99 a month service. Suggestion to you is look at what you're doing in your business and put your stake in the ground and say, this is what I'm willing to accept. Anything below that, not a good fit. So now this is where you ask, great, I'm gonna set a minimum price point, but what should that price be? Well, again, that's up to you. Do you wanna be high value or do you wanna be the discount person? You gotta pick your audience here and stick with that. But there are a few strategies because pricing, as I mentioned, is like psychological warfare. I'm gonna keep saying that because I believe it. This is a brand new bottle I just got. I love blender bottles. This one though is fancy. It's got my logo on it and all sorts of fun stuff. This is the first rule. People see it as a $10 product. But of course you already know this. It's called the power of 9. If you price it at $9.99, the buyer in their head says, oh, that number's closer to $9 than 10. Even though it's only 1 cent away from $10, the brain says it's in the $9 range, so it's cheaper. So that's one strategy. It works all of the time. We all know because we fall for it. Another tactic that you can use when you are setting your minimum price point is to consider the Weber-Fechner law. If you're gonna be up in that higher price point, the really luxury brand, know that you've got a few more things working for you, and here's what I mean. If somebody's gonna come in and spend $20,000 with you, they are more open to adding on things and spending more money with you because they're already spending 20 grand, so what's an extra $100 or an extra $500 to add the options and the widgets and those kinds of things, right? The brain just allows for that. Whereas on any other normal day, spending $100 or $500, they wouldn't do it. But because they're putting down so much money, they're just kind of in that mind frame. The Weber-Fechner law also says that if the price point's really low down here, it's like $2 for this product. If you ask them to spend $2 or $3 more for that, they go, why would I do that? Know that your customers are willing to spend more based off of what area you're playing in. Understand that. Also, when you're discounting your product, if you're up here and you've got a $20,000 product and you discount it by $100, your buyers don't care because it's like irrelevant. But if you're down here and you're playing in the low space, the Weber-Fechner law says that, let's say it's $150 and you discount it by $100, that's massive. Your buyers are gonna see that and appreciate that. You've got the discounts playing different ways too. As you're setting your price strategy, think about how you wanna react. Do you want to be adding on lots of stuff and have people buying more and more things up in the luxury space? Or if you create a discount system, do you want people to appreciate that discount and see the value and pull out their wallet and buy? Buyers are irrational. Despite our best effort to convince ourselves otherwise, and we think, no, when I buy something, I create spreadsheets and budgets and I spend 6 months researching and planning. That all might be true. But you know what? In the back of your head, when you click buy now or you pull out your wallet, you're doing it for an emotional reason despite all of the research that you've done. As you're setting your price point for your product, whether it's $500 a month or $50 a month, just know this, that your buyers in the end are going to pay you if you've connected with them emotionally. Setting up your system so that they feel value, that they feel accomplishment, that they feel attachment, brand connection, all of those things make a buyer buy. What happens if you don't set a minimum price point for your product or service? Well, then it's like all chaos breaks loose because every time a customer walks in the door or somebody goes to buy something from you in any way, you have to negotiate with that customer. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself into a position where you're always having to try and calculate in your head, is this a good deal for me or not? Set your minimum price point, put your stake in the ground, and then move your business forward. I want to hear from you. What have you done in your business to set your minimum price point? And I'd love to know what it is. What do you do as a business and what is your price point? Put that in the comments down below and we will get a great discussion going. If you have not yet done it, go ahead and click that big, beautiful red button over there somewhere that says subscribe. That will give you access to all of the videos I create in the future to help you master your company's finances.